So what we're talking about is, Matt was saying that the 3D printer, am I talking to the camera or to you? I'll talk to you. Matt was talking about how the 3D printer is quicker to make the part than it is to CNC machine it, but actually it takes about 4 hours to make this on the 3D printer, whereas the machine can make it a lot quicker than that, but the setup time it takes. That's right, that's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Just loading the 3D printer with blue filament to prototype the AF4. We prototype on the 3D printer, it's quicker, bit cheaper, it's less downtime on the machine.
So you could draw this up and stick it on the 3D printer and then have it printed in the same day pretty much by the afternoon, and then you can hold it, go, actually that doesn't feel quite right. Looks good on the computer, but when you're actually holding it in your hand and then when you put it into a corner, it just doesn't feel right, doesn't feel as good as what you want it to be. So whereas if you were to create a jig and a toolpath on the milling machine, it'd take you the best part of a few days to get it running properly. You go buy the stock and whatever, and then you might get it up and go, actually it doesn't feel right. So you can answer that question a lot quicker with a 3D printer, so well worth doing. Nice off. This is a 3D printer in action. It's just creating a bed at the moment for the part to stick on. As you can see, we're no percent of the way through, but it's taken 8 minutes so far, so it does take a while to print, but we can do this here, and if we want to make a change, then we can make a change, then print it straight off again. So it's a really handy piece of equipment to have. It's not very expensive either. You know, it wouldn't actually function as a tool when it's 3D printed, but it does a job for us. So these are the two designs that we came up with over the summer with one of the interns from Nottingham University. This is a really old one. This is the one that we created for use with like pipe work and stuff. For the moment, we're looking for one that fits in the pocket quite easily, and these are the two designs that we've come up with that seem to work quite well. One of the things that we want to do is we want it to be flat there, so we want to recess the bolt and the nut, if it has a nut, into the body of the tool, which is we've done on this one, and then also a nylon 6/6 washer so that it spins around that rather than loosening the bolt. But the good thing about this, if we cut that off there, is it would be nice and flush and it would just slip into the pocket quite easily. Obviously we're limited with the amount of space that we've got as to what display we can have on there, so we're looking at protractor, angle, and maybe a mitre, maybe a single. This is our aluminium stock that we've got, and we've just had this delivered. This is the 4mm aluminium. This is 6082T6. It's a standard aluminium that we use because it's good quality stuff. It comes from Europe, I think mostly Germany, and we've got this to run the prototype parts for the new AF4. We need to create a toolpath first for the jig and also for the part itself. So we've got another piece of aluminium, a big block that we use as a jig. Gonna go with a knife. So we've got two jigs here. This is the bottom one is for the new T-square that we're making, which is much bigger, and then we've got this little one here, which is going to be the jig for the AF4. We don't go for really thick stuff at the moment, just in case we mess it up, and we don't want to waste it. It's about £100 just for that one block, which is about $150, something $140, probably less than that now. So we'll use this one first, and if it works, then we'll buy a thicker piece, which is more like this, a lot thicker, this one, so it doesn't warp, and we can also face it off a few times, because over time they might get scratched and damaged and create burrs, which then makes it really difficult to machine them to really good tolerances. So if that happens, we can machine it off a little bit and then redo the jig. So here's our two metal prototypes, and we'll have a protractor, and it looks like we can get the single and the mitre into a single window there. But as a tool, that's really small, and that fit in the hand quite easily. Yeah, quite like that.